Hello, dear friends. We're here for one more study of the series Conscious Studies. We are now studying the book Living Spring. Today, we will also be using the book Jesus in the Home to complement our study. So, our chapter is chapter 10. The title is Yes, Indeed, and it starts with a passage from Revelations 22:20. Yes, indeed, I am coming soon. Yes, indeed, I am coming soon. And Emmanuel, in his commentary, he's going to address the issue of time. And he starts by saying that when we are very, very young, we don't appreciate time. It says, human beings are still young. Their attitude towards life is that of a child who is unaware of the value of time. And then he says that we mature, we grow up, and at some point we become more conscious that time is important. And we start to invest in our time, and a week becomes a short period of time for all the things that we have to do. And so we spend our time and we spend our lives in doing more and more and more and more, and in a way running after time. And time never seems enough for all the things that we have to do. But in doing so, and in doing so much, we forget that He is coming. In other words, we forget to pay attention and to value our spiritual enlightenment. So he's going to finish by saying, therefore, do not allow yourself to be embroiled in the human jungle, unconcerned about your spiritual growth on the eternal pathway. So we go from not valuing time to valuing time, but investing our time in doing the things that are related to this world. And a lot of times we don't spend enough time in the things that really matter, the things that are related to our enlightenment, to our spiritual growth. So the lesson is actually pretty straightforward, and I will now bring to you chapter 22 of the book Jesus in the Home, and the title of this chapter is The Divine Talisman. And so it starts with Jesus is together with John and James' mother Isabel, and after observing all the healing that he had done, healing the blind, the insane, Isabel asked, Lord, might you be carrying some sort of talisman whose powers we could benefit from? Some kind of magical object that might help us. So she's asking if he has something that gives him these extra powers that will allow him to heal, if they could have that themselves. And Jesus rests his piercing gaze on the woman and said laughingly, in fact, I do know of a talisman that has wondrous powers. By taking advantage of its miraculous resources, one can begin acquiring all of the blessings of our Father. It enables us to discover the treasures of love that shine around us and whose splendor we cannot see right away. It unveils understanding wherever discord punishes hearts. It opens the door to the revelations of art and science. It offers the possibility of radiant communion with divine founts of life. It invites the blessings of meditating on holy things. It reestablishes relationship between conflicting parties. It discloses passages of light to minds lingering in darkness. It allows for the blessed spread of happiness. It is clothed in 1,000 opportunities for widespread peace. It reveals a vast network of pathways for wholesome work. It uncovers 1,000 ways to enhance our lives. It facilitates the soul's access to the thought of great masters. It enables communications with the heavenly fountainheads of intuition. So this talisman allows Jesus to do all those things, and this is what he's sharing with Isabel. And he's gonna say, without this divine talisman, it is impossible to start any work of light and peace on earth. So naturally, like we would probably say the same, she will say to him, Master, where can we get such a blessing? Tell us, we need this bringer of happiness. And then Christ added good naturedly, this blessed talisman, Isabel, is something we all have. It is the time we are going through. In other words, the talisman that he's talking about is called today. It's called now. Is the time that you have on your hands right now at this moment. Each minute of our soul is cloaked in prodigious hidden power when we learn how to use it for the infinite good. Because every rise and every fall, every victory and every defeat all begin with the collaboration of the day. And before everyone's perplexed looks, he concluded, time is the divine talisman that we should avail ourselves of. So time, my friends, time. What are we doing with our time? And that is a reflection that's worthwhile doing every day. How did we spend our time? And so much time we spend sometimes in criticizing, in complaining, in fulfilling our minds with stuff that brings us no good. So much time we spend, for example, talking about other people's lives. So much time is spent complaining and pointing out problems for which we have no solution anyway, or nothing positive that could contribute for the solution of the problem. So one very small exercise that we can do as we read and meditate about both passages, Living Spring, as well as chapter 22 here, is how can we best use our time. We have to do our work. Yes, everybody has to work. We have to invest our time in the things of our daily lives and the demands of material life. Absolutely, yes. But we can and we should take advantage of the time that we have now to make the better use of it. And I think each one of us can really reflect and ask ourselves, am I making the best use of my time? So if you are with your family, with your loved ones, be with them, be fully with them. If you are at the Spirit Center, be fully at the Spirit Center. And if you are at work, be fully at your work. But also remember that no matter where you are, what you were doing, right? Going back to our lesson, I am coming soon. He's coming soon. So we need to be attentive that we need to use our time, our today, our now, the present, our presence, wherever we are, to prepare ourselves to the things that really matter, which is our spiritual enlightenment. And we don't have to be doing charitable work or at a spiritual temple in order to do that. We can make every minute count by being spiritual everywhere, in any place, with any person that crosses our way. So how are we living our values? How are we living our immortality? How much consciousness are we bringing to every moment of our lives so that time can be used and can be this powerful resource helping us to heal, helping us to grow, helping us to make amendments, helping us to fall and get up again as many times as necessary. How are we using time to help us to grow, to generate light within ourselves, and to move forward and to make progress? So that's the reflection for today. It is the use of your time. So I hope it will carry on for the next minutes. It's easy to forget. We talk about those things, but in our stage of evolution, we get very, very easily disconnected. Our Wi-Fi, as I like to say, is of the worst quality possible. It drops all the time when we get disconnected, and very easily we go back doing what Emmanuel was saying here, just doing, without this consciousness, without the awareness, that soon he will be here. And the sooner that we can get invested in making the most of our time, the better off and the happiest and more peaceful we will be. Thank you.